If you're a leader of the country and your country has been struggling just with food, then why are you a leader? If you cannot provide food on the table, why are you a leader? If you need to ask for humanitarian assistance when it comes to a basic need, something as small as food, why are you a leader? How can you lead a country of millions of people and you cannot even provide a food on the table? This is the journey to One Africa. Hey guys, welcome back to the family. It has been a moment, but I would like to remind you guys again that please sign up for the membership and support the work we are doing right here. There's different packages that you can actually sign for, but also there's something that we as a family will give you guys in return because of your membership, and that is some exclusive content only for the members of this family. By doing that, you're helping us to do what we do, to reach out to more Africans, to reach out more to our people, and to do the beautiful work we're doing to bring about One Africa in our generation. All right, let's get right into it. So today, I woke up with this news that is not really good, and we've been saying this all the time. It says that in a cycle of extreme weather, drought in Southern Africa leaves some 20 million facing hunger. 20 million people in Southern Africa will need food relief in early 2024, according to USAID's Famine Area Warning System. Zimbabwe, Southern Malawi, Mozambique, and Madagascar are facing a rite of harvest, leading to food insecurity until 2025. The severe impact of the harvest failure will result in millions of people struggling to feed themselves in the mentioned region. And as different here, what has caused the severe drought in Southern Africa? The severe drought in Southern Africa is attributed to climate extreme, further exacerbated by the El Nino phenomenon. I don't know what is that, guys. Let me know in the comment section, which has led to below average rainfall in the region. This combination of factors has had a significant impact on agriculture and water resources, creating a crisis situation. We all know, we've heard the news about Zambia. So let's see what action have Zambia and Malawi taken in response to the drought. They said in response to the drought and its devastating effects on crop production and food supplies, the president of Zambia and Malawi have made international appeal for humanitarian assistance. These appeals aim to mitigate the impact of crop destruction and the resultant food shortage. What are the immediate and future concerns regarding food insecurity in Southern Africa? Let's see that. The immediate concern is that millions across Zimbabwe, Malawi, Mozambique, Madagascar face food insecurity well into 2025, with this year's harvest considered a total loss. Looking ahead, expert predicts that extreme weather attributable to climate change will become the norm, underscoring the need for sustainable solution to ensure both immediate relief and long-term resilience against the climate. Okay, let me stop right there, guys. And first of all, let me just start breaking down this news. So talking about the issue of drought in Africa, it has been the case for so many years. All right. In some of the countries have been going through that trouble. I remember there was a time, actually last year, if I'm not mistaken, like 2 years ago, we saw Somalia and Kenya had, that issue as well. We saw Ethiopia in the past. And today we see southern part of Africa, this issue arising. And in Zambia as well, the country that I've been just recently. And okay, let me just start saying that the action that has Zambia and Malawi has taken in response to the drought. So let me say this. When you talk about natural causes like something like drought, it is predictable. It's not something that happens today and you know it today. No, it's something that you know before it happens. Like you can actually predict 3 years before the drought come. Why? Because we have like forecasts. We have those weather people who actually can predict, can see that, you know what, in this year, there's a heavy rain will come and will destroy the environment. Or in this year, you know, there will not be rain. As a result, as a nation, as a country, you actually need to prepare yourself prior to the drought that is about to come. And I think this is scientific work, the research work that is supposed to be done. And I think this has to be the wake-up call to Africa, that we need to invest a lot of money in scientific work, and especially when it comes to the researches, when it comes to the medicine, vaccines of different diseases, but also when it comes to the drought like this, food and other stuff. It's a time for the governments in Africa to invest a lot of money in these sectors so that we can actually predict and see what is about to come, because these things are predictable. Why Africa has to suffer through drought, but other countries outside of Africa, they don't suffer with drought? Why? Is God not fair that only in Africa rain is not coming? No, there's other countries apart from Africa, there's actually no rain. There's other countries actually that are living in the desertic line. You can talk about Dubai, you can talk about the Middle East countries. They're actually in the desert, the place that you can barely see rain sometimes. It's drought everywhere. How do they survive? Why? They have enough food to eat all the time. But in Africa, the place where it's full of honey and milk, the place where it's full with natural resources, forestation across the nation. I went to Zambia, man. Like even in the city of Lusaka, there's trees everywhere. Why drought has to happen in Africa? That is simply to say that we are not preparing ourselves very well. We're not actually thinking 10 years to come of Africa. What are we going to do? We're not investing much in science to actually know what is going to happen a couple years from now. We're not doing that. And so I'm actually very disappointed when I look at the response that Zambia and Malawi has taken. What did they do to face this drought? They actually they appeal and they have made a request to international organizations for humanitarian assistance. That is the solution. That is the action taken by these two governments of Africa to tackle the drought, humanitarian assistance. And you're talking about USAID, you're talking about international organization, you're talking about IMF, you're talking about World Bank, you're talking about loans and aids again back to the continent. This cannot be a solution to solve the drought in the continent. Asking for humanitarian assistance, that can never be a solution to the crisis in the continent. There must be a solution to this continent. We must start thinking about doing smart agriculture, smart farming. We must be thinking about that. Because if the rain is not coming, I mean, we cannot blame God for that, but He has given us brain to actually think and to actually act and to actually do something about our countries. We can do smart farming agriculture to create and to produce more food for our people. If Africa in 21st century, we are struggling with drought and we are struggling with food, basic need, just food. I don't know when we're going to pick ourselves up. I don't know when are we going to break out from these basic needs requirements to actually start solving the problems that we're facing in the continent. But if for the past 60 years, the only thing we struggle with was just food security, just food on the table, that we don't have enough food, man, where's the leadership? No, honestly, I don't have anything against the leaders of Africa, but let me ask you this. If you're a leader of the country and your country has been struggling just with food, then why are you a leader? If you cannot provide food on the table, why are you a leader? If you need to ask for humanitarian assistance when it comes to a basic need, something as small as food, why are you a leader? How can you lead a country of millions of people and you cannot even provide a food on the table? Okay, how can you be a dad of a family and you cannot even give food to your kids? How? I don't understand. I think you're disqualified to be a dad if you cannot provide a food. If you need to sleep hungry to provide food for your kids, you need to do that. Humanitarian assistance, again, from the Western countries that constantly undermining and taking advantage of the continent. And this, you cannot blame them because they're going to provide humanitarian assistance to you, but with condition. But who welcomed them? It's us, guys. I don't like victimizing myself. So I don't like victimizing mentality, because that does not solve solution. The solution for us is actually to take responsibility and be accountable and reflect on our action, and to be, you know what? We're not doing enough. We're not good enough to provide for our people. That's basically, we need to admit that if we want to move forward. But asking for humanitarian, and you know what? When the food comes to the continent, we're going to clap for them. Recently, let me tell you this. Recently, United States provided our rice to Tanzania, actually to the city called Dodoma, capital city of Tanzania. And you know what the Minister of Agriculture said? He said this, that we did not ask for food and we don't need food. We have enough food in Africa to feed ourselves. We do not want you guys to bring your food from outside for us. No, we can actually earn it by ourselves. The best thing you guys can do, okay, give us technology. If you want really to help us, don't give us rice. No, give us technology, how to harvest, give us that technology for us to produce for ourselves. That's what he told them. And I think I'll come to share that news with you guys. But it's ridiculous that we're asking for humanitarian assistance when it comes to food. So where's the budget of the country? Where's the budget when it comes to agriculture? That's where we're supposed to invest a lot, because without food, our people cannot go to school, our kids cannot survive, and the continent can never survive. The first thing first in food security in the continent. And that actually is our first agenda here at SNOR. If we cannot do that, then why are we holding government? There must be accountability. Drought in Africa is predictable. You can actually see drought coming. Even if you don't see, your first agenda should be food security. That in my country, I want to have the access of food. All right. So, okay, perhaps in some of the countries you cannot do that. All right. We have 54 countries in the continent. Why you guys cannot come together and solve this issue of drought? I've actually seen what Ethiopia is doing with wheat. When the war broke out between Ukraine and Russia, there were like a shortage of wheat in the continent because we were importing wheat from Ukraine. And because of the war, they don't produce wheat anymore. But luckily, Ethiopia, for the past 3 years, they've been investing in wheat. And right now, it's the second nation in the continent for producing a lot of wheat, starting from Egypt and then, Ethiopia. And I don't know right now, maybe the list has changed, but that's how it used to be like a year ago. As a result, they were able to actually export wheat to, Kenya and to other countries in the continent. Guys, we can actually predict, we can actually see where we're going. It is predictable, and we can solve those issues prior to the drought. It is really disappointing that continent is struggling just with food, that we don't have enough food for our people, really, like drought in all these 4 countries, and a lot of people will die because they don't have food, man. Seriously, people dying today because of food in the continent? Why are you a leader? Why are you there? Why you cannot tackle these issues? If you cannot solve as simple as an issue like this, drought, what else can you do? And this is doable, and it is possible. Come on, guys. It's a time for Africa to come together, to share our resources, to share our knowledge, to share our understanding. If there's countries in the continent that produce a lot of food and they have the constant rain throughout the year, what can happen is actually the countries in Africa can invest in that country to grow crops, so that we can produce for ourselves, we can export. Here in Tanzania, we export, avocados and groundnuts to China, to Dubai, and to other countries across the world. That is food we export here. There's a surplus of rice in Tanzania here, and some other countries in the continent. Why we cannot join our hands together and actually supply for ourselves, save ourselves, work together? But we're asking for humanitarian assistance. I'm telling you, that is the welcoming of the neo-colonialism. Well, it's already here right now, but I don't know why we cannot break out from this shackle of dependence. Africa, in order for us to develop, in order for us to get where we want to be, in order for our kids to have a secured future, we need to be independent. We need to feed ourselves, because whoever feeds you controls you. And if we cannot feed ourselves, then we're not really in charge. And you're not sure if that food that you're going to be given, it's clean, it's pure, it's safe. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Don't eat what you don't produce. Let me tell you this, African, once again. Don't dare to eat what you don't produce. Eat only what you produce, only what you grow. Eat that. Don't trust anything else. Especially if there's anything coming from the outside, do not even touch it. It's not worth it. You'll thank me later. Guys, let me know in the comment section, what do you think and what are your thoughts on this news? I appreciate it, guys. I love you. Stay connected, subscribe, like, share, and I'll see you next time. See ya.